Have you joining me this morning as we continue on with our 10 minutes of morning calm, working our way towards Easter. And today we're looking at maybe there's so many different titles you could have for this. And the one I picked was the past was hard. And I want to talk about that. And I want to talk maybe how God holds this whole thing, because that's what today's reading leans towards. So I want to go ahead and get started with the reading, because the reading is beautiful. And it's this beautiful quote from Isaiah. You'll hear it in many different translations. This is the translation we're using today. The things of the past shall not be remembered or come to mind. Instead, there shall always be rejoicing and happiness in what I create. So I want to start out by saying this, like the past, I think all of us have a past that has a lot of hard parts in it. A lot of really good parts too. And it's not about being negative or pessimistic. It's about understanding, the past is hard. The past is hard. And it can be a problem. And I imagine most of us either struggle with this personally or have family systems that struggle with this. Sometimes we live within systems, or we ourselves fall prey to the idea, I'm not going to talk about how hard the past was. And yet there really is something to just saying, the past was challenging. There were some really rough times there. Because that creates like an vulnerability that is open and transparent. That's what vulnerability is. It's something that's open and transparent. It's not sort of self-pity. It's not that at all. But we have to have a space that goes like, the past is hard. And we also have to have this other space, which the second part of the quote is getting to. And here's God saying, and I'm creating things anew. And I'm creating things anew. So we have to hold on to both of those. The past has some really hard parts. And God's at work creating new things. And that tension between those two, I think, is really critical to get. And it's important to be able to address the past from a way that is not sort of charged or like wallowing in it, but to be able to call a spade a spade. I mean, really important. And at the same time to go like, and God is creating new things. So here's one I was thinking of with a specific example for this morning. I think a lot when we struggle in our relationships, I'm thinking here in particular in marriage, though you could slide it around and use it in any number of different ways. As I was mentioning to some folks over the past week, I've been just having a lot of doing a lot of work in that field with a lot of people over the past couple weeks. And one of the quotes I really, really love goes back years, which is, you're going to be married 4 or 5 times, hopefully all to the same person. And every time one of those phases ends, one of those marriages to the same person, hopefully when that ends, there's sort of a grieving that takes place. And it can create sort of this sadness. And I think we need to be able to acknowledge that, like, hey, this is a hard time. This is a time where a certain relationship is dying. And let's pay attention to what God might be creating in new ways. And it's just interesting to watch, because God is always creating things. And here's the miracle part for me, folks, right? So you think back to a time in your life that was challenging. I think back for me, the default is 7th and 8th grade. You think back to that time, and if you could go back and tell yourself something back then, what would it be? And it's just a standard counseling question, right? And most of the time when we talk about that, most people would go back to offer comfort to, to that younger self, to tell them essentially it's all going to be okay, that things change and things shift, and what looked like would be a forever back then certainly has shifted into a new future that we couldn't have imagined. And that's important to remember, especially if you're tuning in and you're in one of those times that feels like a particular struggle and it just feels really hard today. What I will tell you, my experience is those times actually are some of the most precious of our lives. And even in the depths of how hard it is right now, there'll probably be a time where you'll look back on and go like, I was growing a lot. There was just a lot of change going on in my life. And it doesn't mean that life necessarily gets quote unquote better. I want to be careful about that. I mean, sometimes it does, but I think some losses we deal with some challenges we never recover from in a full way. It's Norm McInerney said, it's not something we leave behind, it's something we move on with. So we take this pain and this loss and we move on with it, and we do continue to grow. So folks, the takeaway for today is just like, just create that space where especially for yourself and especially for other people, where it's okay to say like, yeah, you know what, this is hard, or the past was hard, to be able to be really honest about that. And the other part too is to be able at the same time to hold on to this idea of what God is creating. Again, to come back to the passage. Instead, there shall always be rejoicing and happiness in what I create. In other words, being able to live into a brighter future, and continue to lean in that direction. And the real miracle is, I think, being able to hold both. And when we can hold both, boy, our ego has a hard time being present with both of those. But I think our souls get that. Our souls get that, and it creates a beautiful tie with other people when we can really be that, both and. So that's my thought for today, folks. Again, as we move on towards Easter, and what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little meditation. After the meditation, we're going to do a little prayer. After the prayer, we're going to do a little blessing, and after the blessing, we'll say hi to folks on social media. So with that, friends, let's all get a big breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and bring you peace and bring you home. Amen. All right, folks. Little cheery hello to everyone. And again, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're warm. We actually had Lancaster, we actually had snow flurries yesterday. Go figure, go figure, go figure, go figure. All right, a lot of comments here today. Let's say hi to people. All right, Jen, good morning to you, Jen. Hope you and your wonderful family are doing well. And just a note, Jen, this Sunday we have lunch with the pastor right after church. And for any of you who happen to be in town, what we do is once a month we run out and grab lunch, just pizza and chat, good conversation right after church on Sunday. You are more than welcome to join us with that. Linda writes, God is at work creating new things. I trust in that. I think it's the foundation of faith. Yeah, that you guys can't see it, but you kind of see the back right here of that little thermostat, and behind it is a beautiful mantra, from the Bible, which is where it says, "Behold, I make all things new," because I think that is very much a foundation of faith. Linda, well said. Suzanne, great to see you. Good morning to you, my friend. Sherry, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Marcus, good morning. I'm hoping you're having a great day. Sherry writes, so blessed in my journey. A marriage of 36 years ended. He passed away 5 years ago. I still love him, always will. Sherry, that's beautiful. And Sherry, if you don't mind, just could you throw his name in there just so I can, say his name and keep him in my prayers this morning. Linda writes, yes, move on with, not forget those we have loved and lost, and have a deep knowing that all can be well again. Yeah, and it is a deep knowing, Linda, right? And again, like the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, our ego can't hold both. Like egos tend to really want to be just one thing. They want to all be into the bad parts of things, or all into the good thoughts, sort of pathologically optimistic, or all into the bad side, or onto the good side of things. And there's a way I think God's journey is helping us to be able to hold the both and. Kim writes, good morning, everybody. And good morning to you, Kim. Martha writes, good morning. And good morning to you. Susan writes, difficult time now, lost my job. It's and we will definitely keep you in our prayers there. Mandy writes, have a good day and a good morning. Same to you too. And Jerry, name is Kenneth. That's beautiful. My dad's named Kenneth too, so that's a name that warms my heart. So friends, thinking about all of you today and wishing you the very best, and being able to have a day where you're able to hold both and. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.